Good evening, everybody. This is Michael from Nibiru News and Someone'sBones.com. A little late for my articles this time of day, but I thought about just doing it tomorrow, but something always comes up, so I figured I'd put this out this evening. I'll read the article, then I'm going to make some offhand comments on something I usually do not like talking about, but article first. TSA searching luggage for Nibiru Paraphernalia. And I will read. The Transportation Security Agency, TSA, has upped the ante and is now randomly searching luggage for Nibiru-related literature and paraphernalia, says our confidential source, a licensed private investigator and former federal agent. On direct orders from acting TSA Administrator Dr. Huban Gowadia, never heard of this person before I got this information, agents at over 30 metropolitan airports received instructions to be on the lookout for baggage containing subversive material, including unusual astronomical charts and texts, and any paperwork mentioning the words Nibiru, Planet X, Wormwood, Nemesis, etc. Unsecured laptops are also subject to unwarranted searches and seizures. According to our source, the clandestine operation began earlier this month. While the exact screening process remains unknown, he says the TSA has detained 30 travelers, domestic and international, for carrying contraband promoting the Nibiru reality. Excuse me. The TSA released some passengers on their own recognizance. Others were turned over to local law enforcement and to the FBI. Anyone caught with Nibiru propaganda, he says, is immediately added to the federal no-fly list. And I quote him, "I believe they are doing this to mitigate the flow of information," our source said. "This is highly illegal and a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. These guys are like a fox in the henhouse, running wild. Now that Nibiru is getting close, they might be trying to nab potential whistleblowers or anyone who has true and accurate knowledge about the looming Nibiru disaster. They are desperate." Furthermore, his research alleges that the government charged 2 individuals returning from Italy to the United States with sedition, and that they are currently being detained under the Patriot Act in an undisclosed location. No other information on them is available at this time. A 12-year-old child had an astronomy coloring book ripped from his hands at Dulles International Airport. Agents segregated him from his parents and questioned all 3 prior to releasing them. Our source encourages would-be travelers and Nibiru researchers to store all critical data on an encrypted and secured laptop before entering an airport. The nature of the research, he says, is irrelevant. Anecdotal, unsubstantiated, and accurate data are all equal in the eyes of the law. No one, he says, should risk carrying written paperwork until this draconian operation ends. Renegade astronomers traveling to astronomical symposiums should avoid major airports or seek private transport to their destinations. And I quote him again. "They're rounding up these people like cattle for the slaughterhouse," our source said. "Right now, anyone who is traveling with Planet X research or any non-approved astronomical literature risks arrest or worse. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these people ended up in FEMA camps. I don't know who passed the order to Dr. Gowandia, but I doubt it was Trump. Many of us still believe these agencies remained loyal to Obama," he said. Controversy has mired the TSA since its inception. Many view it as a needless bureaucratic entity created to harass and intimidate law-abiding citizens under the pretense of halting terrorism. If our source's information is accurate, this simply adds fuel to the fire. In closing, Our source names the following airports as high risk: JFK, LaGuardia, O'Hare, LAX, DFW, Denver International, Miami International, and Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta, among others. And that concludes the short piece I wanted to read today. I just knocked my camera. And this has nothing to do with the article. And I hate talking about what I call the opposition or the trolls. I usually try and avoid it, and one thing I will never do is mention them by name because I am not going to give them the attention that they seek. But they seem to be stirring the pot with me a little bit more these days, which is understandable. Actually, I got a good laugh today. One guy put out a parody video of me. I won't name him, but he was certainly interesting. Anyway, the thing is, most of these people, and first of all, I do not believe they are government agents as other Nibiru broadcasters allege. The government is not going to hire angry 30-somethings to go on the internet and try and discredit Nibiru. Most of these people that are anti-Nibiru these days at one point in time believed in Nibiru, but had some kind of incredible epiphany where they suddenly stopped believing in it, and at that point they have waged a private war against anyone talking about the subject. And they simply don't want people listening to anybody talking about Nibiru in a positive way. And I frankly consider myself one of the most even-handed individuals out there talking about it. But in the end, they get angry, and I hear them openly complain, and I try not to listen to them too much. They complain that there are too many people listening to Nibiru broadcasters and not enough people listening to their angry rants about how horrible we are for talking about Nibiru, a subject that we are very passionate about. Frankly, with the exception of one or two people, the reason that these individuals do not have a lot of viewers or a lot of views or hide the number of subscribers they have is because they are boring and obvious. So keep in mind, people, that we're just here, me and anybody else who talks about the topic, to put out information for people to consider. And Lord knows, people know I don't try and force feed information down anyone's throat. I'm not a doom and gloom guy saying, you better heed me or we're going to die, this is terrible. I just politely and as accurately as possible want to share the information I receive with a community that is willing to listen. And also, as people know who have listened to my previous videos, I have extended an olive branch to detractors to do a live show with me where we can have a debate, not even a debate, just a discussion to talk about it. Has a single one of them taken me up on that offer? No. They would rather make fun of my mask and the fact that I want to protect my identity, or make fun of the way I talk, or do parody videos of me, which is all good. Everybody has a right to express themselves in their own way. On that note, this is Michael from Nibiru News and Someone'sBones.com. Have a great evening, everybody. I hope your week is a good one. Bye-bye for now.